What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Kid Taj. Today, we got an NBA 2K17 MyPark video. It's a podcast. These videos during the week, I'm just going to do like podcasts, honestly. I've made up my mind. Unless there's like a reaction video or something, unless I get, permission from somebody to use their clips, because, monetization is actually a big deal, and I don't put ads on the videos on the weekends, so, that's why I'm able to use the highlights. But anyway, today we're going to be talking about Dwight Howard, and before I do, I just want to say, if you enjoy this shit, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new, comment something I should talk about during the NBA that's happening right now, a player who's been maybe underrated so far, a player who hasn't got enough credit, I don't know, whatever it is, hit me up down low, and let's get into it. So basically, today's video is about Dwight Howard. Now, Dwight Howard is one of the most controversial players in the NBA. He's had one of the most controversial careers in NBA history. It's crazy what this guy's gone through. He came in to Orlando as a franchise centerpiece center, and he won 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards. He was runner-up to the MVP award, and he even got himself to the 2011, or wait, what year was it? He got himself to the NBA Finals. It wasn't 2011, it was 2009, I believe. 2009 NBA Finals. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Point is, he's been to an NBA Finals. And Dwight Howard is not really a guy you think of as that type of guy. At least the one you see right now. The crazier thing is that he carried that team to the finals. It wasn't like he was on a team with another guy that was balling out that year or something like that. He was by far the best player on that team, and he led his team to the finals. His best season in Orlando was the 10-11 year where he put up averages of 23 points, 14 rebounds, 2.5 blocks, shooting 59% from the field. Absolutely fantastic stuff. This guy also averaged 1.4 rebounds per game steals per game, that year. He demonstrated athletic big man skills and dominated games in the way that no other center could. Unbelievable. This guy was a runner-up to MVP. This guy has been to the NBA Finals, and he carried a team there. That's what he's done. Now let's take a look at what's happened since then. That 11-12 year where he was fed up, he wanted to leave, he joined forces with Kobe Bryant and Steve Nash in LA for the 12-13 season. We all know the story. His career went downhill, even though he averaged 17 points and 12 rebounds that year, along with 2 blocks. It might seem like decent numbers. It was down from what he'd been averaging previously, and it wasn't helping that team win, as they barely made the playoffs and were first-round exits, and he was gone after that year. He went to Houston, had a little bit better of a year in terms of scoring, and the Houston Rockets, well, I think, they were a first-round exit that year, weren't they? Yeah, that was the year that Damian Lillard killed him with that buzzer beater in Game 6. That shit was crazy. I was watching that live. I was so hyped. They were a 4th seed that year. Not terrible. Him and James Harden developing some chemistry, and then it goes downhill when he's injured the next year. Only plays 41 games and only averages 16 points and 10.5 rebounds. And the next year, it goes down even more when he averages only 14 points and 12 rebounds. Rebounds up a little bit. But the chemistry's bad. Him and Harden don't get along. And now he's in Atlanta, where he's averaging right now 15 points, 12 rebounds, and 2 blocks. But the numbers, as similar as they might be to his numbers of previous years, there's something different about Dwight Howard this year. And it's not in the numbers. You got to look past the numbers. Dwight Howard is winning again. He's on the best team he's been on. Maybe, they made the Western Conference Finals with Houston that one year. But Dwight Howard is on probably the best team he's been on since he was on Orlando. I mean, the Hawks have started out 9-2. Contrary to what I thought, because I didn't have a lot of hope in Dwight. I didn't think that he was going to go and be great on the Hawks. He's been great so far. And, his numbers might say, oh, well, he's been just the same. No. This guy has been really good, and it's just because he doesn't need to score a lot. He doesn't need to put up 20 points a game. He plays on a team now. This is the first time in his career where he's played on a team that didn't have one guy. He was the one guy in Orlando. Then he went to LA. He plays with Kobe. Kobe's that guy. Then he plays with James Harden, who's that guy. Now they're on the Hawks. He's on the Hawks. And yeah, Paul Millsap's the best player, no doubt about it. But I mean, Paul Millsap's not a ball-dominant player. No one on that team is a ball-dominant player. Dennis Schroeder is the most ball-dominant player on the team, and he's not even like that. He's not a ball hawk. Hawks play a very unselfish offense. They're kind of modeled after the Spurs. It makes sense because Coach Mike Budenholzer was an assistant, I believe, for the Spurs before moving over to Atlanta to coach his own squad. I mean, honestly, these guys pass the ball around, and that's why I think Dwight Howard has been a perfect fit in Atlanta. You don't look at the numbers, you look at the team record, you look at how he looks on the court, because it goes beyond the numbers. He doesn't need to score a lot of points. He is not that guy that's going to be down low, that's going to just score every time. They run a team offense, and he gets his touches when he gets them. He doesn't care, because Dwight Howard can't play with another ball-dominant player. I'm telling you right now, he can't. Kobe, it didn't work. James Harden, it didn't work. Atlanta, there's no one like that. And look at what he's doing. Again, don't look at the numbers. Look at what he's putting together. A season where he just cares about the team. They're just winning games, and this team could really be a threat. Now, I always say this about Atlanta, and I know that Atlanta's been far in the playoffs many times. They were in the Eastern Conference Finals a few years ago and got swept by the Cavs. Everybody can get swept by the Cavs. Toronto didn't last year. That was the first time since the Cavs played the Bulls when they didn't sweep anyone. But the Cavs are usually really good at taking teams out. You know, the Pacers, back when they had Paul George and Danny Granger and all those guys. I know they still have Paul George, but that team was good at taking out the Cavs. They didn't beat them, but I'm talking about Eastern teams beating the Cavs, coming close to beating the Cavs. That Pacers team, the Bulls team from a couple years ago, and the Raptors team last year, they weren't really close, but, they made that a series somehow. But Cavs, they got their shit together and wrapped it up. The Hawks have never beaten the Cavs in a playoff game when LeBron was there. I don't think, at least not in the last 2 years. Not since LeBron was in Miami, probably. I don't even know if they played, but the point is that for the time LeBron's been in Cleveland in his second time, the Hawks haven't even gotten a game off of them in the playoffs. And the Hawks are always in the playoffs. And I think that this placement of Dwight Howard on the Hawks might change something. I'm not saying that they're going to beat the Cavs in the playoffs. What I'm saying is that they finish second seed to the Cavs this season, if it happens. This team is a legit threat because they now have a rim protector. Dwight Howard is a guy that can really frustrate a team like the Cleveland Cavaliers. Why? Because previously the Atlanta Hawks had absolutely no one that you could be really scared of in the paint. When you were going into the paint, yes, Paul Millsap's a great defender. Yes, Al Horford's a good defender. But Al Horford's not really a shot blocker in the same way that Dwight Howard is. You're not going to be scared of Al Horford like you are of Dwight Howard. Because if Kyrie Irving is running into the paint and he's throwing up a layup shot, he can get that shot over Al Horford. So can LeBron. Those two guys are your two main threats, and they can both drive inside and hit layups over Al Horford. However, Dwight Howard is a completely different story. He gets many more blocks, I should say. And he just changes shots. I mean, this is a guy that's a defensive presence. He's not a guy you want to see in the paint. And it's gonna make them more hesitant to driving in the lane. You already saw it this season when the Hawks beat the Cavs, giving the Cavs their only loss other than the one against Indiana last night, which was just because LeBron wasn't playing. But Dwight Howard has that impact on games, and he can. And when he's with the team concept, there's no reason why he can't affect a game, not only on the defensive end, but also on the offensive end. Also, something about Dwight Howard is he gets almost double the rebounds that Al Horford does, which is great against a team like the Cavs, because with a guy like Tristan Thompson patrolling the paint and grabbing all those offensive rebounds, Dwight Howard is much better suited to box out and guard Tristan Thompson, preventing him from getting those rebounds, than a guy like Al Horford. It's just true. These guys, you can't shake them. Tristan Thompson is one of those guys that it's going to take a great player, a DeAndre Jordan, a Dwight Howard, that type of player. And Dwight Howard, he can do it. I think that he's athletic enough, he's strong enough, he's stronger and athletic than Al Horford, and he might even fit this team better. The way he fits this team, they look scary right now. If they continue this tear, don't rule out anything. This team could be huge in the Eastern Conference this year. I'm out. That's my video about Dwight Howard. I can't say I expected Dwight Howard to do this. And again, you can look at the numbers all you want and say, oh, those aren't good numbers, whatever. He's playing like a team. He's playing a team concept, and that's exactly what he needs. That's exactly how he's going to get shit done, and I think that that's just the best thing for him and for this team. I'm out. Thanks for watching, y'all. Peace.